Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel, guys. So what I have for you guys today is a slightly different video to what I've been bringing to you guys lately. So what we're going to be doing today, guys, we're going to be discussing what I think is my championship team of the season so far, guys. And what I want to know from you guys is who, in your opinion, has been the best 11 players in the championship. So I'm going to be talking you guys through what I think the best 11 has been so far this season in the championship. We're also going to do this video at the end of the season, and then we'll be able to compare, sort of, because obviously at this point in time in the season we're about halfway through now, just over, and like I said, I think this could be a pretty interesting video. So of course there's been a countless amount of players this season who have had fantastic years, so of course I'm not going to be able to include everyone in the squad which I currently mentioned, guys, so apologies if I do leave anyone out, but of course this is all down to opinion. So like I said, I'd love to know from you guys who has been the championship team of the season so far in your guys' opinions. I'd be very interested to know. So for this video, guys, to make it as easy as possible, basically we're going to be doing this video on FIFA 17 just so it comes across really easier individuals and stuff like that. So first of all, we got the team of the season. I'm going to be going with a 3-4-1-2 formation. The reason for that is it just fits in the sort of players I'm looking to. It's quite an attacking squad because realistically a lot of the players I want to include in this squad more or less are attacking sort of players. So I'll talk you through my squad now and why I've included in them, so let's just get to it. So before I get into the starting 11 of my championship team of the season so far, guys, I'm going to talk you through the bench. So these are like the honourable mentions of people who just missed out on the starting 11, but I am going to include them in the video because I felt like their performances so far this season have warranted that. So of course this is all in my opinion for who I think has been the best so far this season. So first of all, we got Tom Cairney of Fulham, been a fantastic player, only just missed out on this team, but there's some fierce competition with good wingers this season. But Tom Cairney has had a terrific season for Fulham so far. Jonathan Kodjia been brilliant for Aston Villa in quite a struggling Aston Villa side as well, but Kodjia's still been bagging in the goal, so I thought I'd include him on the bench. Glenn Murray was really unfortunate not to make it into this starting 11, as was Scott Hogan as well. Both of these have been absolutely terrific so far this season in scoring countless amounts of goals for their clubs, but there are two strikers in my opinion who have just pipped them into the starting 11, but them two definitely deserve a shout, as well as that Jan Kermingen as well, of course, with Reading doing as well as they are. Jan Kermingen has played a key role in that and has popped up with some big goals for them throughout this season so far. We then have Helder Costa as well. I thought I'd had to include him really because of course Wolves have recently signed him in January on a permanent, and what a signing that could turn out to be, because whenever I've seen Wolves play this season, Helder Costa has always been the standout player because it's not really been the best of seasons for Wolves. Of course they've had a manager departing, quite a bit of drama going around the club, but in terms of a standout performer, Helder Costa has been fantastic for them. And then we have Aaron Moy as well. I was really close to including this guy because I know how good Huddersfield have been so far this season, and he seems to be the sort of player who makes Huddersfield tick really. A lot of their play seems to go through this guy, and whenever I've seen, Huddersfield play, he seems to have always had a really solid game and probably is one of the best players in the championship. I'm not going to lie about that, but in my opinion there was just two players who I couldn't leave out of this starting 11. We did have Alex Smithies as well, definitely worth a shout in this video, as like I said, whenever I've seen QPR play, this guy's had an absolute blinder. He's saved a numerous amount of penalties and he has kept QPR in a lot of games this season. We then had Tammy Abraham. Like I said, at the start of the season this guy was hitting it off, and it still is with Bristol City really, of course, with them not really doing the best, but definitely worth a shout for that one. Sam Hutchinson, I think, has probably been Sheffield Wednesday's standout player for the season so far, which has been quite a topsy-turvy one for Sheffield Wednesday, but I thought I'd involve Sam Hutchinson in the bench. We then have Sam Winnall as well. Of course, I'm involving him in this bench really for his performances he put in for Barnsley. The amount of goals he was able to score with that Barnsley side was absolutely fantastic, and we obviously get to see what he can offer this Sheffield Wednesday side. And then last of all, I thought I had to include him. It is Ben Pearson from my club, Preston North End. Literally, I had to include Pearson because, in my opinion, he has been Preston's player of the year so far, and since he's come into the squad, he's just added a bite to our midfield, and he really does drive us forwards and just gets stuck in, and honestly, I absolutely love the guy. So there are the honourable mentions and the people who made it onto the bench, guys, but now it is time to go through our starting 11. So starting out in net, guys, I am going to go with Karl Darlow just because of Newcastle's defensive record so far this season has been really good, and I could have included David Stockdale as well. There was a couple of other keepers, Ali Al-Habsi of Reading, but I just feel like some of the saves which Darlow has pulled off this season, and in my opinion as an individual, he probably has had one of the best seasons in terms of a goalkeeper. I mean, that double save he made against, I think it was Rotherham not too long ago, was absolutely out of this world, so I just had to include him. And then to my back three, guys, who are making it into my championship team of the season so far. So first of all, we have Christopher Schindler of Huddersfield, and what a season this guy's had for them so far. Literally at the back, he's been so solid for them, and he just offers really more than that a centre-back is expected to. Really, he's really good on the ball, he's great in the air, great leader of the team as well, and really has shown a drive towards this Huddersfield side to, you know, keep them ticking over. And like I said, one of the performances of the season so far he's just put in a number of them so far in this championship season, and I had to include him really. We then have Pontus Jansson, of course. All the Leeds United fans, I'm sure, will be including this guy in their championship team of the season so far, and of course all Leeds fans are absolutely obsessed with this guy, and there is of course a reason for that. Literally, he has been absolutely terrific for them so far this season, I'm not going to deny it, and he has played a key role in them being as high as they have been in the table so far. And then our last centre-back, guys, we have Lewis Dunk of Brighton. Like I said, once again, a terrific defender, and it's nice to see we have different players from each club represented so far. But Lewis Dunk, in my opinion, Brighton's best defender, and just shows really one of those players which has contributed massively to them being second in the league currently and pushing for automatic promotion, and definitely a standout performer so far. And then for our two central midfielders, guys, first of all, we had Jonjo Shelvey. So, of course, Jonjo Shelvey has been involved in quite a bit of controversy so far this season. You know, there was the whole thing with the racism and him getting the ban. That's not the sort of thing that we like to see, of course, but if we are talking strictly about his football, I think he's been absolutely terrific for Newcastle so far this season. I think it has to be mentioned, and in my opinion, you know, he is a class above the Championship. You know, he's the sort of player where you hate coming up against this sort of player, but in terms of being tactically in tune and being able to pick a pass and being mentally aware of players around him, I think he is probably one of the best, if not the best, in the Championship, and definitely has Premier League quality, which would seem to be where Newcastle are heading at this point in time. We have Conor Hourihane as well. I had to include this guy, and really he was the reason why Moy just missed out on the starting 11, but Conor Hourihane, from what he offered this Barnsley side with in terms of goals, assists, leadership, absolutely everything, he has been definitely one of the performers so far of the Championship. And of course, he has recently completed his move to Aston Villa, so I think that's a brilliant move for both him and Aston Villa. I was a bit ashamed to see him leave Barnsley, really, because I do like Barnsley and how well they've done so far this season. But like I said, definitely a standout performer this season. And then for our wingers, guys, who I'm going to include in this squad, first of all, we have Anthony Knockaert, and this is just really, this is no surprise, really. He has been absolutely on fire this season for Brighton, and like I said, this can't come as any surprise to any of you guys. He's probably been one of the best players in the Championship so far. Whenever I've got the chance to watch Brighton this season, whether it be on Sky or the highlight packages or anything like that, just the skills he's got on the ball, the amount of goals he's contributed to, whether that being scoring them himself or creating chances or getting the assists, he's just been absolutely magnificent for Brighton so far this season, and he's just a shoe into this side, really. He had to be involved in it, and as well as that, with all the controversy with, of course, the tragic news of his father dying and everything like that, him being able to come through that and just carry on his consistent performances, an absolute attribute to Brighton this season, and it's got to be said, definitely one of the players of the year so far. And then we have Tom Lawrence, of course. In FIFA, Tom Lawrence is a striker, but I decided to play him out on the wing because that's where he's been playing for Ipswich Town, and like I said, Tom Lawrence has been, I don't want to say Ipswich have been a one-man team so far this season, but where would they be without this guy? He has been absolutely terrific for them. Of course, he's on loan from Leicester City, and the amount of goals, like I said, once again, similar to a number of these players, but the amount of goals and assists he's managed to contribute for Ipswich Town has been absolutely sublime. I think for the last 2 weeks, he's got my goal of the weekend as well, so definitely worth a shout. And then this is where it gets interesting, guys. So coming into my attacking midfield position, we then have Tom Ince, who, once again, a player I really did think I had to include. Definitely been Derby's player of the season so far, in my opinion. I mean, he started the season quite slowly, I'm not going to deny that, but ever since Steve McLaren has come into the team, he's just absolutely rejuvenated Tom Hinton. Honestly, he has looked like a different player, an absolutely fantastic player, and once again, been probably one of the best players we've seen in the Championship so far. He's got that bit of flair about him, that bit of pace, and the amount of goals he's scored and contributed to this season has been phenomenal. And then, guys, for our 2 strikers in the squad, I don't think this is going to come as any surprise to any of you guys, really. First of all, we have Chris Wood, who of Leeds United, of course, and he has played a massive role in Leeds being as good as they have been so far this season. You know, I've got to admit, you know, probably at the start of the season, Leeds weren't really being talked too much in terms of promotion, but the things which players such as Chris Wood and like Pontus Jansson and other players alike have been able to offer to this Leeds squad has been absolutely magnificent. And Chris Wood, the amount of goals he's been able to score this season has been terrific. Definitely been one of Leeds' player of the season so far, and definitely has been one of the Championship's best players. I think he currently is the 2nd top goal scorer in the Championship, and he has only scored less goals than the next man coming up to the squad, which of course had to be Dwight Gale. I couldn't make my Championship team of the season without this guy. Literally, for Newcastle United, I know recently he has been out the team, but with Newcastle United, they have just been, I wouldn't say dependent on him, but he's just been able to add a new dynamic to this squad. With the amount of pace he's got going forward, that flair he able to add, the amount of goals he scored as well, he has just been an absolute class act for them. And of course, currently being the Championship's top scorer, he tips off my Championship team of the season so far. So there you have it, guys. On screen now, there is my current Championship team of the season as it currently stands, guys. So like I said at the start of the video, I would be very interested to know as to what you guys think of, first of all, what you think of my team, whether you agree or disagree. That's absolutely fine. You know, football is all about opinions, but as well as that, I'd love to know from you guys, what do you think has been the Championship team of the season so far? I would love to know from you guys. So, of course, you don't have to use this formation. You can do whatever you like. And as well as that, who do you think has been your player of the season for your individual club? So, myself being a Preston North End fan, I'd say that Ben Pearson has been our player of the season so far. So, in terms of your guys' individual clubs, I'd love to know that from you. So, guys, that will now wrap it up for this video. So, if you have enjoyed, make sure you do leave a like. Like I said, this is something a bit more different that I don't really do much of on the channel. So, if you would like to see more videos in this sort of style, make sure you leave a like so I know that you guys enjoy them, then I know to do more of them. But like I said, guys, that will now wrap it up for this video. So make sure you check out all the other links in the description down below. Make sure you follow me on Twitter as well, as I always tweet before I upload a video. Definitely you'll never miss a video ever again, guys. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.